So now I'm at a place where I know that everything has changed because I'm not going home. My children and myself, we're at my mom's. My marriage is over. So I knew that, but I know that I started becoming a victim of what happened. I'll say having a victim mentality. I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that because this happened. I couldn't, it was becoming an excuse. I couldn't find joy and inspiration and encouragement. I just couldn't find it. I was so broken. I was so hurt, and I didn't think that I would ever feel closure. I never thought I would feel joy again. I never thought I would even have a life that resembled anything of love and joy and happiness. The pain, not just physically, but emotionally, that I carried inside, it was so heavy. It was so heavy, and it was just a dark place. And to be honest, I think in my quiet times when I was up at night and everybody was asleep, that's when I allowed God to speak to me. That's when I allowed Him to speak to my heart. And a lot of times it was, yes, this happened to you, but you've got to keep the faith. You're giving more energy to what happened, and you're not looking at what I've done. You're not looking at my intervention, that I was there throughout this whole thing. And so I know that I first had to accept what had happened. And y'all know that it's hard, right? It's hard. It's hard to accept what happened. It's like you want to go back and you replay it in your head over and over again, but that doesn't do any good. It happened. It's not going to change. It happened. And that's what I had to accept. Like this thing happened. This is where you are. Now, where do you go from here? And when you're broken like that, you just see pieces and fragments. You don't know how to put them together. You don't have the strength to put them together. You don't have the strength to even think about it. But I'm going to tell you this. This is one thing that God, like I say, He began to speak to me. And I was reading the Bible, and I was reading about when He fed, the multitude with 5 fish, 2 loaves of bread. And if you keep reading, it says that there was still a multitude of people to feed. And you looked around, there was fragments on the ground, fragments. And so God said, give them to me. Pick up the fragments and give them to me. Put them in my hand. Give them to me. And when they did, it multiplied. And so I looked at my life and I said, my marriage is broken. My body is broken. My livelihood is broken. Like, when I look at my life, I see fragments. I see fragments. And all I can do is give it to Him. And I gave it to Him because it was something that I knew that I couldn't change. And I knew that God had saved me for a purpose. And so I had to change my mindset. And I had to begin to be grateful for where I was, hurt and all. 6 bullet holes in my body and all. I had to be thankful and I had to be grateful for where I was. I had to start looking at what God had done. What God done. I had to stop getting caught up in the shooting. And then I had to start focusing on God in order to begin my healing. So accepting what has happened, that's normally our first step toward healing. Blessings.